Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here representing Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness. And today I thought I would chat with you guys and gals about crazy people like Dave Asprey telling you that brown rice is bad for you. But if you guys will please click like down below, be greatly appreciated. If you're not subscribed or following, please do so. And if you will be kind enough to drop me a comment down below with your thoughts or to say hello, I would appreciate that so much. In fact, tell me if you think brown rice is healthy or not. All right, over to the point. Like I saw a clip come through my thing and some analysis of it earlier, and I'm just laughing because, again, people get on crazy stuff like brown rice. I get people who ask me in the lives, you eat a lot of brown rice, are you worried about the arsenic in it? It's like, no. And he tried to get up and say that it's something like 100 times the arsenic of white rice, okay? And this is a problem when you hear someone like this with a massive following tell just a flat lie. All right, if you analyze it and go look, it's not double. Like yes, there is more arsenic due to groundwater and soil and everything else in brown rice. And this gets brought up sometimes when people are saying, oh, we're concerned there's arsenic in it. But keep in mind, you're going to get arsenic in your diet. It is unavoidable. The meat you eat, the vegetables you eat, everything is going to have arsenic. Arsenic is, yes, it is poisonous to your body, but it's a naturally occurring element. It is found in nature. It's one of the basic elements. You can't get rid of it. Like, it is there. Arsenic is going to be in your body. Fortunately for us, we have a liver that can handle a certain amount of toxicity, right? Hopefully we all know this. You're going to be exposed to toxins. And it's not just the modern environment doing it. Your ancestors, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, were exposed to these things. This is why you have a liver, because you're going to have some toxins and poisonous things go through your body. We can handle a significant amount, and when it becomes too much, well, it becomes a bad problem, and in a worst case, you die. But I digress. Over to the point. You're going to have arsenic in your diet. So if someone says, oh, we should be concerned there's arsenic in it. Okay, sure, but the amounts matter. And the problem is, to make a statement like it's 100 times, it's something like, I forget the number, you would need to go look it up. I want to say it's like 70% more or 80%, somewhere in that range more than white rice on 100 grams of brown rice versus white rice, okay? It is a little higher, yeah. But when we start talking about safe limits, you're going to be nowhere near your limits from brown rice, okay? So we need to be clear on that. The same thing, he's over here saying something like, oh, it shreds your gut. Really? We're going to talk about brown rice and gut health. Keeping in mind, this is a man who pushed low carbs. This is a man who pushed bulletproof coffee, pushes butter. All right? Go eat tons of butter on a low fiber diet and then come talk about gut health. Right? You're going to see a lot of gut flora issues. All right? So here's your reality. It has a lot of fiber in it, sure. And if you haven't adapted to enough fiber in your diet because you've been eating a really bad diet low in fiber, yeah, there could be some problems from eating any really high fiber grain. But once your gut is adapted to that, we thrive in that. In fact, here's the thing. If this was such a problem, then why would populations who consume whole grains not be unhealthy, right? So why are they so healthy? You start looking at populations that consume large amounts of whole grains are very healthy. You look at populations that consume brown rice. They tend to be slightly better than ones who do white rice. And white rice isn't actually that bad, to be fair. It's been overhyped in terms of the negative. Lots of people thrive on white rice. Okay? Relatively clean carb source. The only thing is been stripped of some of the nutrients, some of the fiber, some of the healthy fats. And there's very small amounts of those things in brown rice. You need to be clear. But when you look at different studies looking at the gut biome, what do we find? Well, people who eat a lot of brown rice tend to have actually fairly healthy gut flora. Large intakes of brown rice are associated with better lipid profiles, with better glycemic control, better insulin sensitivity, better fasting glucose, lower rates of type 2 diabetes, all right? So when you start looking at the health effects, for a food that supposedly we're concerned with arsenic, for a food that we're then concerned with damage to your gut, why do people have really healthy gut flora who eat large amounts of it? Why do they have Also, lower rates of diabetes, lower rates of cancer, lower rates of cardiovascular disease. It's actually associated with that. And here's the problem when people try to pin down individual problems in foods. Aha, this one thing in a food is bad. But then you go look at data, and the people who eat large amounts of it on average are healthier than average. Okay, this is problematic because what we find is that whole grains in general, generally associated with lower all-cause mortality, better health. We look at people who eat brown rice, on average, they're healthy. People who eat brown rice is a very common weekly staple in their diet. When we look at data at them as a group, they tend to be healthier than average. Does that mean brown rice is the most amazing superfood ever? No, of course not. But if it was a problem, we would see it in the demographics, right? So if there was any problem whatsoever with brown rice being an overall health concern, again, arsenic, damaging your gut, then you would see this in the epidemiology, meaning populations of people who eat brown rice wouldn't have better than average health, yet they do. Same thing with the gut health. Brown rice generally associated with, and we know what the specific fibers are in it that cause that, they improve certain gut biome, right? They actually improve some of the specific healthy bacteria in your gut. It improves it. So it promotes gut health, right? It promotes better insulin control. Go compare that to butter. You don't see the same thing with butter. And this same Dave Asprey is the guy who was pushing the bulletproof coffee, putting 500 calories of butter in your coffee. But when you look at the blood work of people who consume large amounts of butter, you look at the epidemiology, it's associated with higher diabetes, worse glycemic control, worse lipid profiles, more heart attacks, more strokes, more cancer, more diabetes, worse gut health. Okay? This is a problem. So again, I would point out, if something like brown rice was problematic, you would see health problems at a larger rate in people who consume large amounts of it regularly. But we don't. They are on average healthier. We don't have a bunch of cases of people getting arsenic poison from their brown rice either. Okay? Let's be clear on that. And there are plenty of other foods that are considered plenty of healthy foods these same gurus will promote that are quite high in arsenic. How about fish, seafood? Perfect example. So again, these crazy gurus come up with nonsense. And imagine being here in America in this day and age with the horrible food environment and all the garbage and junk, to stand there and pretend that something like brown rice, which is a well-known and proven healthy staple, is some sort of problem. I mean, wow. The idiocracy is overwhelming.